So the Microsoft event, Xbox Game Showcase, premiered yesterday, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about it. Okay, so before we begin, let me state this when I used to have a gaming channel, uh, I said on that gaming channel that the console war battle died last gen, and the focus was going to be systems and services. Sony is still staying traditional. Sony and Nintendo staying, traditional, coming out with a new console with a new game lineup, and that game lineup is going to test that new game system, sprinkle in with some indies, some time exclusive DLCs and games, and making exclusive titles for that console. Microsoft, on the other hand, they're selling a service, and they want this service on all devices, including their older consoles as well as their newer consoles. So it's like watching two ships in the night. One ship, year in, year out, still staying its course, and you got another ship just experimenting, trying to figure out where they're supposed to go, right? And I'm not saying that there's, Matt Booty and Phil Spencer are totally clueless over there at Microsoft, but every time they move forward, they're experimenting, okay? This is uncharted territory where they're going, okay, with the console and Microsoft itself, okay? So let's talk about the game showcase. And I'm only going to be focusing on things that I thought that was interesting. They talked about Forza Motorsports. We're always going to get a Forza racing game on every new console that's coming from Microsoft, okay? So that was pretty much expected. No surprise there, okay? They didn't show any gameplay footage, so I can't really go into full details about it. If you go back, if you just, look at the track record of Forza Motorsports, it's always a beautiful game. I'm not into racing, but it's always a beautiful game, so I'm pretty sure it's going to still be that way. I'm not 100% sure, okay? Psychonauts. Okay, Psychonauts 2. Now, this came totally from left field. I kind of like the vibe of it. I wasn't a huge Psychonauts fan. I remember it being premiering, and if I know there's going to be some people that are, fans of this game, but the last time I saw this game was on a PlayStation console. Okay, was it a PlayStation console? No. Damn, can't even remember when I saw Psychonauts. I know it premiered in the era of the PS3 and the 360. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you guys. As Psychonauts 2, I kind of like it. I like the vibe of it at the Xbox Game Showcase. Okay, so a plus for me. All right, and another thing that they showed was a lot of experimental games. Okay, and I'm just gonna bundle all these games in. There was a combination of CGI footage. They showed briefly some gameplay elements in these presentations. Not 100% sure how it's going to transpire to the full game when it comes out onto Game Pass, but nevertheless, it was a mixed bag of stuff that I don't want to go into full detail about. Hopefully, they release some more information on these new IPs, but nevertheless, they were okay. Okay, nothing great, nothing bad, but okay. It was like borderline, in my opinion. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is Halo Infinite. Okay, and when it started, I was going, wow, I could see how this game changes. And I'm not even talking about the gameplay. I'm the cutscene, and I saw how the game changed from when the last time they showed and premiered this game, and I think it was on E3 last year. Okay, and I noticed it changed. Now, traditionally, every game is going to change. Okay, I don't care if you play games on the Nintendo console or the Sony console or Microsoft or PC, whatever the case may be. When they first premiere these games in the beginning, they look extraordinary. They look must have. They look like something that you see in a movie theater. And then when it gets closer to the date of it being released, it changes. Okay, it happened with Spider-Man. It happens to a lot of games. Okay, so when I saw it, I noticed a change. Okay, and then when they showed some gameplay elements of Halo Infinite, I wasn't too happy with it. Okay, it really, and it looked. I'm not gonna say it looked bad, but it just doesn't look right. Okay, now they added a grappling hook to Halo. I think a lot of people are gonna love doing that. Now, traditional Halo fans are on social media saying, since when Master Chief is acting like Just Cause, okay, where Just Cause with a guy with the grappling hook, how he can just swing on to stuff or pull stuff to him and things of that nature. I thought it was kind of something that was experimenting with that feature. I don't see people using that as much. I do see a lot of people, if they put it in the multiplayer, and they didn't 343, they didn't announced that the grappling hook was going to be in the multiplayer department, but if it is, I can see people utilizing it in the multiplayer. Okay, so it's not a grounded traditional Halo. Okay, I'm having concerns about the speed button. Are they going to include the speed button to this Halo? I don't know. Okay, but besides all that, when you look at the visuals, they're not impressive. Okay. And to be completely honest, now I can see why this game is also going to be on the Xbox One X, which they discontinued a couple of days ago. The OG Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, the PC, the tablet, the mobile phones, smartphones. I can see how this game's going to easily be playable on all those devices, and that's where the problems lie about Game Pass and the direction Microsoft is going. Okay, they want to make they're out of the exclusive market. Okay, and they want their games playable everywhere. And this is what happens when you make your game playable everywhere. You try to have the foundation of the game enjoyable and playable on all the different types of platforms. Okay, so that's where you run the risk. Now they say over time, gradually, it's going to look better, but it's not going to look any better than what it looked like yesterday when it premieres on the Xbox Series X. Okay, and I got a lot of stuff to talk about. The direction of Microsoft. Okay, now, and I made this comment on my gaming channel, how Xbox Game Pass, even though there's pros and cons with it, there's more cons than pros with Xbox Game Pass. Now, as a gamer, you get to play all these games for $9.99 a month, and that's good. Okay, I was thoroughly entertained with Xbox Game Pass, but the downside with Xbox Game Pass is you're not going to get a game that's been in development for years, that they took their time on. You're not going to get you're rarely going to get games like a Ghost of Tsushima or The Last of Us 2 or Spider-Man, where, they took their time and their due diligence in that game, and it's, and with the mindset of it being an exclusive and testing the engine of the console. The majority of a lot of Xbox Game Pass games, are games that you can play on your phone. Games that you could play, games that you could play on your Nintendo Switch. Okay, I remember talking about the possibility of Xbox Game Pass landing on the Nintendo Switch, even though Microsoft pretty much said, don't be holding your breath as far as the Xbox Game Pass app being endorsed by their competitors like Nintendo and Sony. Now, you may have games that start on Xbox Game Pass that will slowly make their way on those other platforms, okay? But as far as the app itself, don't hold your breath on it. But I feel like them going this angle, you're not going to get a game that's that tests the console, or make you say, okay, I got to get an Xbox Series X because look at this game. Okay, I can't play this game nowhere else. If this game looks amazing, you're not going to get that type of content from Xbox Game Pass. You'll get it a time or two, but you're not going to get it consistently, okay? And that's the point I was making about Xbox Game Pass. It's consumer friendly, but is it developer friendly? I just don't see a lot of developers making a lot. I just don't see them. A lot of developers utilizing this, and they're going to traditionally go the way they always been going, which is have the game launch traditionally. And maybe when it gets older over time, or if it wasn't that popular, a lot of people are not playing it, then I can see them importing it to Xbox Game Pass, okay? But, like I said, Phil Spencer, Matt Booty wants to sell a service, not a system. And that's why they pretty much waved the white flag on building consoles, okay? They want to focus their time, money, and resources on a service rather than a console. Okay, so overall, I've been checking out everyone's Twitter, and pro Xbox gamers, fanboys are giving it an 8, a 9, and people that don't like Microsoft love to see the doom and gloom in Microsoft, giving it a 3 and a 4. I will give it a 7. Okay. And they also talked about Fable. Okay. I forgot about Fable. Okay. Psychonauts I'm not a huge fan of. Fable I'm not a huge fan of. But I was thoroughly enjoyed with Psychonauts. Fable, I was never a huge fan of it. But they showed Fable. My overall opinion on their gaming lineup, I feel like they have a great quality. Let me rephrase that. A decent quality of games in their game lineup that's going to premiere side by side with the Xbox Series X. But none of these games are system sellers, okay? And none of these games is going to make you say, wow, I got to get an Xbox Series X because of X, Y, and Z. Okay, and they also talked about Destiny, the expansion for Destiny 2, and people were wondering, it really supposed to premiered I think in September, but now they pushed it back to November, and I was telling everyone on social media when that news came out, I guarantee you it has something to do with Microsoft, and indeed it did. They're talking about special features that you can't get nowhere else on any other console, or console-wise, PC. They've been flexing this 60 frames per second, a 4K resolution. We don't know if it's checkerboarding, and it's going to run and look better on the Xbox Series X, and the Xbox, I feel like it's going to really run better on PC, but as far as when you compare the Xbox Series X to the PlayStation 5, their theory is it's going to run better on the Xbox Series X. And I have a theory where when this DLC finally comes out, you're not going to see any type of differences from the Destiny 2 expansion on the Xbox Series X, or is it the Lockhart or whatever? I don't know which one is the powerful console than the PlayStation 5. Okay, because Destiny, the Bungie, Destiny 2, it's been on their previous consoles, so they understand and they can tweak this game and make this game perform at a high level on consoles. Now, ultimately, I don't care if you got a Series X or a PlayStation 5. If you want to play Destiny on the best resolutions, on the best performance, on the best game speeds, you should be already having a PC. Okay, if you're in that type of discussion, in that type of bag, and in that type of opinion, you should be already on PC. There's no reason nor an excuse for you if you want that type of if you have those type of demands while you're on a console. Okay, I don't get it. But anywho, I think overall it's going to look pretty much the same. And I just think this is just hyping Microsoft bag up to make people want to buy the Xbox Series X even more. Okay, so none of these games are system sellers. Okay, and and in my opinion, the showcase, they show games, but they didn't show a lot of gameplay elements. Okay, they show games, they show some stage gameplay elements. They knew where to hit record. These stage gameplay elements, and to try to show the console on its best foot forward. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. To me, I'm not into. I think this gen is the last time I'm buying an Xbox console, in my opinion. Because why buy an Xbox console when I can play it everywhere else? I can play those games on my the way how they're talking on my tablet, my smartphone, my PC. Okay, why am I spending an extra? Let's just say the Xbox Series X is $300. Why would I want to spend an extra $300 to play games that I'm not really that excited to play? They're not must-have games, okay? And the way how this system works, some of the games that premiere on Xbox Game Pass, it pretty much trickles down to all the other platforms. Maybe not Xbox Game Pass, but there's a few exceptions to the rule of Xbox Game Pass. Of those games have either already been on a previous console or eventually going to make its way to that console. Okay, case in point, PUBG. Everybody was talking about this game, and I played this game on Xbox, and it was bugged. It was bugs all over the place with this game, pop-ins, all that. But it was a decent game. Okay. And at that time, Microsoft was talking about console exclusives, okay? And they kept saying that PUBG was going to be a console exclusive. That was going to be a console exclusive. Come to find out, it was a time console exclusive. And when it made its way to the PlayStation, And I haven't played it on the PlayStation, but from what I've seen on a lot of streams and from what I gathered from a lot of information from YouTube and the interwebs, it runs and performs better. Okay, not because it's on PlayStation, but the time that they got it imported it on the PlayStation console, those developers were at work making the game better. When they released it, it was bug ridden. Now it's a fairly playable game. I don't know if anybody's still playing PUBG, but that's their mindset with all these other games like Halo Infinite. They're already damage controlling this game, talking about how, it looks bad, but over time it's going to get better, okay? And when you run that type of mindset with a game, you got to catch a game. A game's got to be running close to perfect in the beginning stages, because if you want to capture that audience and if you want to keep that audience, that game's going to have to run damn near flawless perfect, okay? And if it doesn't, everybody's going to turn on that game real fast and real quick, okay? And I'm pretty sure people are going to be streaming Halo Infinite, but the multiplayer aspect of it, and even the campaign is supposed to be an open world campaign. So I'm expecting a lot of things to do. They got a lot of developers working on this game. So I feel like at the end of the day, out of all the games, I feel like Halo Infinite is probably going to be one of those games that over time people are going to continue day in and day out to play this game. Similar to Destiny. I don't think it's a Destiny killer, okay, by any stretch of the imagination. And I feel like Destiny 2 is a better looking game, a better running performance game than Halo Infinite. Now, I haven't played Halo Infinite, okay? I'm just only going by the video, okay? But from what I got from the video, Halo 2 still, it's not going to deter the Halo 2 audience to play. The Destiny 2 audience to play Halo, okay? So, I give it a 7. I'm not going to sit up here and say it was the worst thing I've seen in my life. But I'm not going to sit up here and jump for joy and say this thing was bananas, okay? So, I'm done. I'll see you guys on the next video.